How's it going, people? Today I'm going to be talking about Zombieland Double Tap on Blu-ray and 4K. And if you didn't check out my movie review when it came out in theaters, I actually saw it and reviewed it on this channel, so you can check that out right over here. And if you like that video and if you like this video, guess what? I do this all the time. So make sure you subscribe right down here. And without any other further ado, let's get straight into the Blu-ray quality here. This movie was shot all digitally. Definitely. A lot of the clarity here is just very crisp and clear, very defined edges all throughout, and very consistent. There is not a lot of soft elements here, and that is probably because of the fact that the cinematographer here was the same cinematographer that shot It Chapter 1. Not It Chapter 2, but just It Chapter 1, and it shows. I really liked how that movie was shot, and I definitely like how this one was too. It's just very, very aesthetically pleasing. And as far as the detail goes, I was struck right away by just the grass in the landscape and how much detail you have in the grass and just the wear and tear of this world. Now, the zombie apocalypse has been going on for quite some time now, and you can see the decay within the world, and that really does come through just in the decay of the White House when they finally get to Graceland, and you get to see the decay on Elvis's building there. It's just all very, very well done. And facial features are expertly detailed here as well. Black levels can sometimes dip a little to gray, then to black, but other than that, I would say that this is a really damn good looking Blu-ray that I would give a 9 out of 10 to. And as far as the 4K Blu-ray goes, this was actually given a 2K digital intermediate, so this is actually upscaled to 4K, but don't worry about it. It doesn't affect this movie too much. It is, like I said, on the Blu-ray portion, shot gorgeously. And you can see just every individual strand of hair on everybody's face. There is so much wear and tear to this world that it is just palpable. You can feel it. And you know what? It definitely it works here for what you want out of this experience. I would say that CGI takes a hit here just because you can definitely tell that this movie didn't really have a big budget. But other than that, this is really excellent. Clarity is great here. And as far as depth of field, I would say that it is actually stepped up here. The foreground really steps away from the background, and you can feel it. HDR is a showstopper here. This gives the color palette a lot more of a richer, a lot more of a filmier vibe that I personally do like. Especially what I have noticed is when the blades of grass sometimes has that yellowish tint to it that this movie has at times when the sun is either coming up or going down, and I really do like that. There are some orangey hues that come through a lot more with the HDR, and I would say that this is just a real nice bump up with the HDR here. And for that, I'm going to say that this is a 9 out of 10. And as far as the audio here goes, if you buy this on Blu-ray, you are getting a DTS HD 5.1 mix that is pretty good. And it definitely hits in the bass department. Bass hits deep and it hits hard. And that will definitely please fans of the zombie genre. Along with that, speaker separation is top notch. The back speakers definitely get heavy use out of it. And every time that you hear the rockin' score to this film, I feel like it is mixed properly. And that is why I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. But you guys want to hear about this DTS-X mix that is on this 4K disc. I feel like I don't get to talk about DTS-X a lot here, and I really do like it. The overall field of sound and just the fidelity here is stepped up massively. And I would say that surrounds here get a substantial boost up. And they were pretty good on the Blu-ray. But here, with this mix, they are amplified tenfold. And I loved it for that. At times, I noticed that the the rockin' score that happens comes more from the surrounds than from the fronts, and that is something that I appreciated, just as something something new and cool. And as far as height speaker work, whenever an action scene kicks in, you can definitely hear it up there. Explosions are definitely a highlight in the height speakers. And at the end of the film, when they are setting off the fireworks, that is the highlight of the film. You can definitely hear the height speakers working and getting their workout up there. And bass response is excellent here. Every explosion, every firework that goes off, every song that is in the score here, whenever they turn on a car and you can hear the bass from the exhaust, all of that is expertly done here, and I would actually give this 8 and 9 out of 10. And as far as digital copies here goes, this is a Movies Anywhere digital copy, which means that you can download the 4K copy on iTunes and on Vudu, along with other streaming services. And getting into special features here, this is pretty interesting. There are certain special features that are only on the 4K disc. Some featurettes actually. Both have the commentary with the director, and on the 4K disc, there are some very short but appreciated making of docs. One of them goes into how they wanted to portray Babylon, which is where the end climax takes place. And on the Blu-ray portion here, you get a lot more making of docs and a gag reel along with an alternate opening scene. So there is quite a bit here, and none of it is particularly lengthy, but I would say this is a 6 out of 10. You definitely get your money's worth. And as far as my last looks at Zombieland 2, this is a movie that is a lot of fun. It knows what it wants to be, and it completely goes for it. And you know what? It's not stale after all this time. I love Woody Harrelson in this movie, and I love the cast as well. And you know what? I would just say that anybody that is a little tepid about coming back to this, into the world of Zombieland, guess what? It is not stale. It is very, very much still fresh. And if you didn't watch my video review for Zombieland Double Tap, I gave it an 8 out of 10. And when you add up all my scores for Zombieland 2 Double Tap, on Blu-ray you come out to a 31 out of 40. And on 4K, you come out to a 32 out of 40. That is just because they stepped it up in the audio department for the 4K disc, and I felt like it was worth it to give it that little nudge up, just so you guys know that is the definitive version. And coming up next on the channel, I do have Terminator Dark Fate coming to me, and I will review that for you guys as soon as I get it. And if you saw Zombieland 2 Double Tap, just comment down below, let me know what you thought about it and what you thought of this release. And, hey, while you're at it, why don't you tell me what you thought of Terminator Dark Fate and what you are expecting from the 4K version. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. You guys are awesome. I don't even say it because you know it. And I will see all of you next time.